RepairsUniverse.com. Today we'll be disassembling and reassembling the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. The tools needed to complete this repair are a heat gun, a nylon spudger, a small Phillips screwdriver, a plastic opening tool, fine tip curved tweezers, a SIM card ejection tool, and an iSesamo. To begin, we'll power off the device. Insert a SIM card ejection tool into the hole on the top left of the device. Remove the SIM tray. We'll begin disassembly by heating around the edges of the back cover to soften the adhesive underneath. Once we've sufficiently heated around the edges, we'll insert an iSesamo in between the back cover and the midframe and pry it free from the device. We'll remove the 13 small Phillips screws from around the midframe. Once we have all the screws removed, we'll gently pry at the seam between the LCD and the midframe. We'll insert a plastic opening tool, run it along the side and along the top. There are 2 clips on the top. Once you release them, the LCD assembly will simply lift out of the midframe. We'll use the pair of tweezers to gently run along the edges of the inductive charger to free it from the frame. We'll run under the ribbon to gently lift it from the back of the midframe. And we'll flip it over and remove the contacts from inside the midframe. Then we can slide it down and pull it free from the midframe. Use the fine tip curved tweezers to pry the contacts from the back of the midframe. Once we have those free, we'll insert them under the metal bracket holding the volume buttons in place. We'll pry upwards and remove the buttons from the midframe. We'll remove the physical volume buttons. We'll pry the pads for the power button from the inside of the midframe. Insert the tip of the tweezer under the bracket. Lift it upwards. Remove the button from the midframe. We'll remove the physical power button. We'll use a Nylon Spudger to disconnect the battery. We'll disconnect the ear speaker flex. Disconnect the LCD connection. Disconnect the two small button connections on the bottom of the motherboard. Disconnect the home button. We'll pry the microphone from the display assembly. And we'll lift the motherboard up. And then we will disconnect the dock port connection from the bottom of the motherboard. We'll disconnect the front-facing camera. Then we'll disconnect the rear-facing camera. And then run a nylon spudger along the side. There's a small bit of adhesive holding it in place, and we'll simply pry it free from the motherboard. Use a nylon spudger to disconnect the microphone from the top of the motherboard. We'll insert a nylon spudger in between the display assembly and the battery. We'll run it along both edges to free it from the adhesive holding it in place. Gently pry the battery and then lift it free from the back of the LCD. We'll remove the two small Phillips screws from the dock port flex. And then we'll use our tweezers to gently pry the flex from the display assembly. Use the tweezers to pry the small metal cover. Then we'll pry the proximity sensor and the ear speaker. This is all one flex cable. Gently pry out the ear speaker and lift it all out as one unit. And then pry out the vibrate motor. Get the tweezer under the pads, then pry it free from the display assembly. We'll reinstall the vibrate motor into the display assembly. Simply line it up and re-adhere it. Then we'll insert the ear speaker and proximity sensor. Reseat the proximity sensor and press the ear speaker into place. We'll then replace the small metal cover over the proximity sensor. Reinstall the dock port flex. And then reinstall the two small Phillips screws that hold it to the display assembly. We'll remove the backing to the new adhesive we laid down. And we'll re-adhere the battery to the display assembly. Reconnect the microphone to the top of the motherboard. We will feed the rear-facing camera through the motherboard and reconnect it. Reconnect the front-facing camera. We'll reconnect the dock port connection to the underside of the motherboard. Reconnect the home button, the LCD, reconnect the ear speaker. Make sure the front-facing camera is reseated in place. We'll read here the microphone. Reconnect both button connectors. And last, we will reconnect the battery. We'll replace the physical power button. And then replace the power button bracket. It slides down into place. We'll read here the contacts. We'll replace the volume up and down physical buttons. And then we'll replace the volume bracket. Read here the contacts. Ensure that the bracket is properly seated. We'll feed the contacts through the midframe and re-adhere it to the inside. And we'll re-adhere the inductive charger around the sides of the midframe. Insert the bottom of the display assembly into the midframe first, and then we'll use a plastic opening tool to gently pry upwards on the midframe so that we can clip the display assembly back into it. We'll now replace all 13 screws. We'll remove the backing to the new adhesive we've laid down. We'll replace the back cover. We'll reinstall the SIM tray and power on the device. And there we have another successful teardown from RepairsUniverse.com. All of the parts and tools used today are available at RepairsUniverse.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.